Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie, and today we are going to be looking at Prism Parade's newest Roadside Oasis Collection. This 5-piece lineup is inspired by a spring break road trip to a Palm Spring-esque desert motel. So I'm sure you can already get the vibes, but let's take a closer look at the swatches. The first polish we have is Golden Mirage, which is a bronze-leaning yellow gold with a shifty gold shimmer that appears green at extreme angles. The formula on this was super smooth. It was so easy to apply and paint. I got really great coverage on the first coat. It is just a little bit sheer, but it evened out really nicely on 2 coats, and I would call it opaque enough for me. I think in certain extreme angles, you can see a hint of nail line, but I personally don't think it needs a third. But you do whatever floats your boat. Either way, I thought this color was so gorgeous. I love that warm golden glow. Next up we have Paloma Sunset, and this is described as a bright coral with a shifty gold shimmer. So this one had another super smooth, easy to work with formula that was pretty much the same as the last shade, where it was a little bit sheer on the first coat, but it does build up really nicely in 2 coats, though there is still a little hint of nail line. So again, if that bothers you, you could go in for a third. I personally liked how this looked on me. I feel like the shimmer is just really distracting from the visible nail line. Maybe I'm just forgiving because I love a coral with a gold shimmer. Up next we have Poolside, which is described as an aqua blue with a larger particle gold shimmer and a touch of microfine holographic glitter. No surprise, I also really enjoyed this shade. It is a beautiful, stunning shade of aqua blue, and paired with the gold shimmer and that dainty hollow sparkle, it really looks like sunlight reflecting off of a pool. Super, super gorgeous, and this one also had a really great formula that was so smooth and easy to apply. I think I will say that I found this one to be a little bit more sheer than the previous 2 shades, but I really liked how it looked on 2 coats because it just reminded me of pool water. Then we have Beneath the Palms, which is a light green filled with a pink to gold shimmer and a touch of microfine holographic glitter. Not to sound like a broken record, but this also had a beautiful, easy to work with formula. Here it is dried down fully on the first coat, so you can see a little bit more of that texture from the holographic glitter. It's not so bad that you need a glitter grabber. It definitely does smooth out with just a regular top coat. But yeah, this one was actually my favorite from the collection. There is just something about this shade of green that is so beautiful. And rounding out the collection, we have Desert Blossom, which is a lilac purple filled with a pink to gold shimmer and that same touch of microfine holographic glitter. So as expected, this had the same easy to work with formula that was so smooth, so even coverage on the first coat alone. I think I would say that this is the sheerest of the collection, at least as far as the base color goes, where it's like that light wash of purple, but it's just so packed with that shimmer that it just really helps to obscure the visible nail line. So again, I think it builds up really beautifully on 2 coats. I did have a little bit of this bald spot on the very tip of my nail, but other than that, it looked great. So here is a little skittle of the full collection worn in 2 coats in direct sunlight, and yeah, I feel like these look so beautiful together. I love how glowy the shimmers are. The colors are just so soft and cohesive, and I love the dainty hollow sparkle that some of these have. And again, even though these are worn in 2 coats, I feel like you can't really see much visible nail line, so I think it just depends on the lighting. Now, getting into comparisons, we're starting with Golden Mirage, and I wanted to show this next to Starrily AU, which is this beautiful warm gold metallic, but that one's a little too foily in its finish, so I thought something closer was Morgan Taylor's Cuddle Me Tight, which definitely is much closer to Golden Mirage in terms of that smoother, almost semi-pearlescent shimmer finish. In certain angles, I think the base color in Morgan Taylor looks a little darker, so I wouldn't call them exact dupes, but they're definitely very similar. Next for Paloma Sunset, I wanted to quickly show this next to Rita, which is the only other red from Prism Parade that I had. That one's obviously more of like a true red metallic. It's not coral. So I thought the closest shade that I had to this was Holo Taco's Encryption Key, which I believe is also described as a coral with a golden sort of multi-chrome shimmer. Holo Taco is definitely a much brighter, saturated, red-leaning coral though. I think Paloma Sunset is more of like a true coral or maybe a little peachy. So then I thought to compare it next to a couple of Cirque shades like Fandango and Flaminglow, both of which are these really warm, peachy, pink kind of base colors with this intense golden shimmer, but they both have holographic sparkle, which Paloma Sunset does not. But that being said, I do think that Flaminglow is pretty close, especially with that warmer coral base color. Next for Poolside, I wanted to quickly show this next to Electric Horizon, which is also from Prism. That one is an intense electric blue, but a lot brighter or more vibrant. When it comes to softer, closer shades, I thought to show this next to Mooncat's Mermaid bait, as well as Catfished, which is more of this like micro, fine, flaky kind of formula. I thought the color, if anything, was closer to Poolside, more so than the finish, but Catfished is really sheer. I'm wearing 2 coats of each here, and I feel like Catfish kind of looks like a topper as opposed to a full coverage polish. Mermaid bait is kind of similar in its shimmery finish, but it has more of a pink color head on, though it does shift to gold in extreme light. I thought Poolside was going to be closer to something like Cirque's Wipeout, but seeing them side by side, they just do not compare. Wipeout is a bit deeper, more of this cornflower blue base, so I thought maybe for something lighter it would be similar to Tipsy Turvy from the Twisted Tea Party collection, but that's more of like a true sky blue. So for more of that shimmery aqua color, I thought of ILNP's Skate Date, which is definitely closer color-wise when it comes to that blue base, but ILNP is a lot more sheer, not to mention the fact that it has this contrasting orange shimmer instead of a yellow one, so they are far from dupes. And then I remembered Holo Taco's Lite Link, which was from the same Lite Multichromes collection. I thought that these were going to be near dupes, but then actually seeing them side by side on the nail, they are a little different, where I think I would say Holo Taco is a little bit deeper in its base color, maybe more green leaning, and the shimmer is also a little darker as well. Moving on to Beneath the Palms, I wanted to quickly show this next to Holo Taco's Sour Note, which is this beautiful bright green with a pink shimmer, but that one is just way too vibrant. So I thought for some softer shades of green, I can show this next to ILNP's Power Surge and Mooncat's Tectonic Shift, both of which also have these pinkish shimmers that shift to yellow in extreme light. I think the base of Power Surge is actually maybe closer to Sour Note, so that one doesn't really compare as well, but Tectonic Shift is kind of close in the base color. Maybe it's just a little darker. The main difference is obviously the flakies. So then I thought I could show this next to Cirque's Introverde from the MXM Tune collection a couple of years ago. That one kind of has a similar like seafoamy green base, again with this bright pink shimmer, but seeing them on the nail, you can definitely tell a difference where Prism is a lot darker in its base color and the shimmer is more golden head on. And lastly, for Desert Blossom, I wanted to quickly show this next to Liz from the Golden Age Glam collection, but that one is a bit of a deeper, more blue-toned purple that obviously has glitters instead of shimmers. When it came to this like sheer shimmery purple, I thought maybe Cracked Polish's Amethyst Dart Frog was going to be closer, but I kind of forgot how sheer that one was. This is 2 coats of each, and Cracked looks like it could be a topper, so I definitely wouldn't call these dupes. The Cracked also has a blue shimmer instead of pink anyway, and some other comparisons I had were Mooncat's Into the Wishing Well, which is this beautiful purple base with a kind of pinkish coppery shimmer, as well as Mooncat's Siren's Deceit, which is another sheer purple base, but that one has a blue shimmer. So color-wise, I think Desert Blossom is the closest to Into the Wishing Well, but finish-wise, it looks really similar to Siren's Deceit. So that wraps up my swatches and comparisons for Prism Parade's newest Roadside Oasis collection. As always, I would love to know your thoughts on this release because I think the vibes are so perfect. This might be my favorite collection from Prism Parade so far because I just love the color story of this release, and especially those golden shimmers which make you feel that summer heat. And I was really pleased with the fact that I just had a great application experience with these, because if you remember from my previous review video, there were a few polishes, I guess more specifically from the Golden Age Glam collection, that felt like a little thick and I didn't love the formula on them, but these definitely felt a lot smoother and easier to apply, and I thought they built up really beautifully. So these are available starting today on the Prism Parade website, and in very exciting news, I am now an affiliate with Prism Parade. So I'll have my affiliate link and code in the description box down below if you plan on picking anything up today. As a reminder, using either of those will give me a small commission, which helps support me and my channel. So as always, a big thank you to those of you who do support me through that. But even if you don't plan on picking anything up, I hope that you still like the video if you found it helpful, but make sure to leave me any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!